Hello. We are live for today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show. At least I think we are. Well, we're live on YouTube. We just need to get live on Facebook. Keeping our fingers crossed. Because it takes a little while just to set up. Telling me the page can't be reached. But we need a link. We got it. So welcome. We are in pre-production mode. If you have just joined us, I am Xander Gibb. And we will be starting the Xander Gibb Show very soon. Whew, it's hot in here. I thought it was going to be cold, so I can't be reached. Shut up, Xander. I'm talking to myself. Yes, this is the show that reaches the parts that other conservative talk shows just cannot reach. And if you believe that, you would be a very intelligent person, to say the least. We're just going to share it to YouTube. And then we're going to share it to a few of the Facebook pages. If you are watching on Facebook, you could click that share button. You won't get a disease from touching it. You won't get salmonella, staphylococcus, or anything even remotely linked to that. But you will get my eternal thanks. And you will be entered into a draw to win a copy of the Xander Gibb 2121 calendar. In the year 2121. Oh, yes, sirree. So we're just sharing the link, the YouTube link, for those of you that like to watch the show on the big screen. Why can't I find it? There we go. You only get to put like one website link on Instagram, I was going to say. I don't know what Instagram is. Coming soon to a computer near you. Instagram with Xander Gibb. It's new and it's fresh. Hello, chat. Welcome to the show. You're not late. We haven't actually started yet. We're in pre-production mode. How are you today, sir? I hope you are good. Just going to share it to some pages on Facebook. Let's hope it lets me do it in one. Why is it not? There's no share facility. Are you kidding me? That was odd. Yes, we have liftoff. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm saying that in all sincerity. It makes such a difference when it does this. I thought that said big deplorables. I really do need glasses. If you're just joining us, you are watching the pre-production segment of the Xander Gibb Show with me, Errol Flynn. Thank you, chat. You are amazing. So much to tell you, so much to talk about. I just had Indian food and it made me ill. But the show must go on. Show must go on. Is that by that's not by Kiss, is it? I don't think I know any Kiss songs. Oh, I do know a Kiss song. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. Is that right? Was that a Kiss song, Chet? We are nearly there with the sharing. We will be done earlier today with the sharing, making sure that I don't share into the wrong groups because I get into trouble when I do. Welcome to all those of you in the live feed, the ones that are not in the chat. Oh, good. I don't know who made it, but I really wish I'd not had it. You know, I had such a busy day. I'm getting my house dog ready, and it just feels the right thing to do. But I didn't feel like cooking tonight. That is a Kiss song. Yeah, I thought so. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. That's all I know. See, I could be a Kiss impersonator. I don't know which one I would kind of impersonate. Probably Ace Frehley, because Gene's just far too tall. The light is giving me grief. Behave, or I will set Ilhan Omar on you. Stop. See, it started working again. That's all you got to do, threaten with Ilhan Omar. And it does what it's supposed to do. Welcome to everyone who's watching but isn't in the live feed. Paul Stanley, don't know about that. Did you see the video recently, chat, of Cher seeing Gene after such a long time? They rubbed noses. It was like you could tell they used to be lovers. We're nearly there. We are there. We've done the sharing. Oh, yes, sirree. Thank you, Lord Jesus. And I don't mean that in a hypocritical or disrespectful way. Welcome to all of you. We are. Ace is 6'3". Wow, they're all pretty tall, aren't they? And then they wear those platform boots. I know years ago when I lived in London, about 25 years ago, probably longer, there used to be these things called buffalo boots, and they had like a 3-inch heel. And I really wasn't supposed to be wearing them because you'd fall over all the time. But I guess Gene doesn't need those boots. So we are at the end of pre-production mode, and we are going to start the Xander Gibb show now. Been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate. Hello and welcome to Thursday's episode of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xanderonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. Yes, it is your mother's basement. Bring me down some milk and cookies, you show and show. So-and-so even. That was really, you show and show. It was my Boston accent coming out. I'm bringing you the best in Patriot Broadcasting. Honestly, I haven't been drinking. 5 nightly, quite rightly. I'm Xander Gibb, and on today's show, I get on my soapbox a little and give you the chance to get on yours in our phone in. On tonight's edition, we break down today's hottest topics, and in part 2, C.V. Barton from Freedom. Boynton, what am I talking? Where's my accent tonight? It's like I've turned into a Bostonian. C.V. Burton from Freedom on Deck joins us. And you can have your say in the live feed. And obviously, I'll be sharing your comments as we go along. So be careful what you put, because I will repeat it. As I said, you can call us in our phone, and I'll give you that information. You can follow me on the social media, and you can check me out at Xander Gibb. Oh, yes, you can. So let's come to the live feed. using the other mouse. Got to do this on all different computers now and say hello to all of you. Let's go backwards. Hello once again to Chet. I'm not going to sing that song again, don't worry. Because hardcore Kiss fans hate it. Hello to Martha. Hello to Gina. My Gina, welcome. Hello to Nick. What did you do this time, girl? Hello to everybody else that is watching but not in the live feed. It's been a very interesting day today, as I was just sharing in the preamble and the pre-production mode, that I had Indian food tonight, and it really did disagree with me. And I didn't say anything bad, and then, maybe I should call them up and complain, Maybe they think I'm a racist because I'm white. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they thought, we will give that man with white privilege bad dummy. But I'm joking, of course. As you know, I am a man of many accents. So I that's what I was doing. I wasn't being racist at all before anybody writes in. If you do want to write in and complain about my racism, you can do so at Xander Gibb at idon'tgiveacrap.com. What is pathetic? Chat, tell us. Hello to CV. Hello to Jamie Dodger. He says, hi, I'm new. Are you male or female? I don't mean to be rude. Well, I am actually a male because most females don't have facial hair. So I hope you're going to be nice, Jamie, or we'll have to come and send the security to deal with you. Chet says, Liz Warren is a terrible cook. Yeah, not that kind of Indian. It's Indian as in India, like not Native American Indians. Yes, I have facial hair. Obviously, whoever that was. Let's actually just see who that really was. Let's go backwards and click on their page and tell you a little about them. Here we go. New watcher. Welcome to the show, Jamie Dodger, which is obviously a play on words, Jamie Dodger. This person plays the guitar and has a couple of trans friends. Well, there you go. It's all good. Everyone is welcome here, but no real photograph to speak of. But yes, I am most definitely male, but welcome. Thanks. The security guards are very sexy, but they are, very kind of, strict too. Hello to Swoop. Welcome back to the show. I'm not sure if it's a Black Lives Matter member, but none of us are Black Lives Matter members here because we don't support political associations that only care about black people that are killed by white people. We want to support everybody. You're a mailman? Are you Manic Mailman from The Simpsons, maybe? Enough of this frivolity. I want to dedicate today's show to someone who you may have heard of. Her name was Vera Lynn, and she was the Force's sweetheart. And today, Dame Vera Lynn, should I say, and she stirred the hearts of millions with songs and a personality that brought hope and inspiration during the darkest days of the Second World War. And as I said, she died today at the age of 103. Decades later, her name is as synonymous as that of Winston Churchill. Don't know if that's a good thing today or not. And as a figure who will play a huge role in keeping up the spirits of civilian population suffering under the Blitz, troop training at home and fighting overseas. But her show business career extended well beyond the war as she entertained Britain right up to the end of her life. Her most memorable song was We'll Meet Again. May she rest in peace and rise in glory. And today's show is dedicated to her. Do any of you heard of Vera Lynn? She sang, we'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Does that ring any bells? No, I'm not aware that Churchill was a pedophile, Jamie, because he wasn't, and you're kind of one strike away from being kicked out. And I will instruct everybody to block you so we can't even see your commentary. Nick says, the hairs on the back of my neck are telling me I might have a troll face-off here and I don't lose. Go for it, Nick. Nick is one of our security, so watch out. She will really kick your ass, and I'm not joking about that. Okay, so I'm blocking Jamie Dodger now, guys. I recommend you do the same. Pussycat Honey, you don't know who you're dealing with. Blocked and reported. So, guys, just go and block and report this idiot. Probably a member of Antifa. So you are now blocked and reported. Even if you can still hear, we can't see you. Well, I can't see you anyway. Okay, so moving swiftly on. We're going to open up the phone lines. Very strange ways, chat. If you are in the United States, you can call us on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. And if you are in the UK, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. 845-363-4747 in the United States, and in the UK, 0208-133-5274. Hey, Nick, go for it. You know, I might have blocked it, but you can. Do you know what it's kind of like? It's like I'm too busy broadcasting, but you know, usually I play. You know, like when your cat catches a mouse and it brings it as a gift and it bats it around for a while until it gets bored. I usually do that, but you know, I've got a show to do. So we're opening up the phone lines. 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. You can call us, and even if you're in the United Kingdom, you can call us too, 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. That's if you're not an idiot. I'm a stud, right? Well, thank you for that, Nick. Looks like we have a call. I know who this is. Let's see if we can. Here we go. It's taking its time, but I'm sure it's going through. You are live on the Xander Gibb Show. What's your name? As if I didn't know, and where are you calling from?
Well, I could say it's Jamie Dodger, troll.
Yeah.
Troll aficionado.
Yeah.
From Long Island, New York, you know. So
yeah.
That was the first troll that I've seen in a while in your feed. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just blocked them right away. I don't know if it scared them off, but you know, the thing is that I don't even mind people in the live feed that want to disagree, but when they come talking about people that can't even defend themselves, you know, people that are dead, like, you know, Winston Churchill, it's like, you know, get a life, you know, go play your guitar in your backyard.
That was to, like, thumb his nose at us. You know what he was doing there. I didn't know that you had security going in your chat, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Are those that, when we see the white, only the white in the profile, that means it's security on the feed?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And it's kind of, it's got an asshole alert now too. So, you know, any liberals come in, it goes wow, 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 you know, something like that. So I'm sorry I'm sorry if I offended you by singing the only Kiss song that you don't like, and it happens to be the one that I don't know.
Made for Loving You is a great song.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, Kiss was a real hard rock band in the 70s, and that's when they decided to do a disco song, which was that was Paul Stanley's idea, because
right.
you know, Paul Stanley a little bit, you know, he was very flamboyant. Let's just say that much for Paul Stanley.
Yeah, you're not saying. Are you saying he was gay?
Great singer. What's that?
Are you saying he was gay? Hi, Janie. Welcome to the show. Hello, Martha.
It's been discussed.
Right.
Some people think that he, you know, kind of slang both ways. So
yeah,
I'm not sure about that. He was married for many years, so I don't know. But but that doesn't mean, that he didn't play ball the other way.
No, it doesn't mean that he didn't ride motorcycles, as David Bowie used to put it. He rides motorcycles, changes. So what has jumped out at you today, Chet? What has really kind of made you go grrr, apart from, Jamie Dodger in the live feed?
Well, seeing what's going on in Minnesota, not Minnesota, I'm sorry, seeing what's going on in where the hell are they right now? The Antifa guy, Seattle. I keep mixing up Minnesota and Minneapolis and Seattle. Seeing what's going on in Seattle or not seeing what's going on in Seattle because the media won't let us is kind of disturbing. I sent you something through your messenger today. I don't know if you had the time to look at it, but they have some really unsavory characters that are leading this charge in this area in Seattle. And the guy was giving out AR-15s to these little punk Antifa kids.
Wow.
And I'm hearing that they're like kicking doors in, and some really disturbing things, Xander. But the most disturbing part of it is that the Democrat mayor over there in Seattle is buying them what they need right now. They're bringing in, barricades to zone off this 7-block radius, and they really shouldn't be doing this. And I thought, Xander, an autonomous zone was not supposed to take in things from our government, but apparently that rule has changed.
Well, of course, these liberal asshole governors, we're allowed to say asshole on the show now, I don't know if you noticed that, but these liberal asshole governors kind of think that they're exempt from the rules. But surely if they keep supplying them stuff, it's going to take longer to actually get them out. I mean, this is going to sound mean, and I'm not even going to apologize for saying it, but I want the place stormed. I want them all taken to jail, because not only have they, committed criminal damage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can't tell me those firearms that they have illegal, and I don't believe that their intent is really one of doing anything good with them.
No, I was disturbed by something that CV sent my way last night. I tried to make sure and see if it's reliable. I don't want to talk about it now, but it was really disturbing. So if I told you what was being said, it would send shivers up your spine on what might be happening in Seattle right now. Think about the worst things that could possibly happen to your property and family, and that's what I think may be going on over there.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know because the media is not showing. It's really weird because, Xander, we're seeing these protests, we're seeing the carnage, we're seeing the rioters. I don't even want to call them protesters, but
no, they're not
showing us this, but we're not seeing much about what's going on in Seattle. Have you noticed that?
No, we're absolutely not. But did you see today, I'm not sure what area it was, but one of these liberal governors or liberal mayors that were saying, leave them to do what they got to do. And her house got burglarized and ransacked too. So, let's just leave them and let them do what they're going to do, because they're only going to start to get pissed when their properties are affected. But, I don't think I don't think this can be left much longer, because we have total anarchy in the United States of America, and it's kind of getting that way here, and someone's got to show some balls. I mean, I think Boris has given his balls to his new girlfriend, who's just had a baby to him, because he dared say boo to a goose, and we, this is not me dissing President Trump, so don't jump in. He's in a very difficult predicament right now. It's an election year, and if he goes in, guns blazing, are we allowed to say guns anymore, or is that offensive?
Well, the liberals are handing them out, Xander, so I guess now you can say guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I think that, President Trump is going to get to a point, so I refer to him as Donald because we're good friends. President Trump is going to, turn around and just say, right, screw this. I'm going to kind of, because there's a stage before martial law, isn't there, that he could, instruct. And that would be
absolutely
catastrophic for every American.
Yeah, well, if there's a disaster, if people are getting their houses broken into and their property taken and their wife and their children raped if things like this are happening, then he has to send in our military and get things under control because, like a virus, it can spread, and that's what we're worried about here. There's the mainstream media is all caught up on, and who really cares what they're caught up on? But this Ambassador Bolton, not Ambassador anymore, but Mr. Walrus himself releasing this tell-all book. I mean, listen, this guy, he's a disgrace. He's the one that got us into Iraq over a false flag, weapons of mass destruction. But you know what, dude? I'll tell you, Xander, I told everybody when he was brought on board to watch out. And, I even had some pushback. I remember talking with Andrea Kay, and she was interested and was like, well, what's your problem with this Bolton guy? Look, if you watch what these guys are all about, you know that they're puppets. You know that they're globalists. Right. You know what this guy did under George Bush. The worst thing to do is bring that guy on board. I mean, this is what frustrated me when they brought him on board. Why would anybody want a Bushy brought into the Trump administration?
Yeah.
It just never made any sense. And now he's got this book out, which I don't care about. I hope it doesn't sell.
No. Well, I've heard it's very good if you have a table that's a little bit wonky and you need to make it level, or if you need a doorstop. But that's about all it is good for. And I don't want to kind of give it any credence, but I think that they're going to have to stop selling it very soon, because I've heard that a lot of the content includes issues of national security, which is not allowed.
Oh, that's absolutely right. It's and it's so unbelievably wrong to even say for 1 second that President Trump was trying to get influence from China.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I mean, here's the only president in the last 30 to 40 years that has ever stood up against China.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah.
And you see Joe Biden with the weak excuses, well, they're good people, folks. I mean, we need to talk to them. Look at all the things that the Democrats did, selling us down the river, starting with Bill Clinton, when he gave China that Defense to Sell Act that basically was constructed to give China all ownership of any of the pharmaceuticals that are distributed throughout the United States.
What a bad move!
And it's gotten worse.
Right. What a bad move. I know that that was definitely contrived. It's not like liberals often say to me, "Oh, you didn't like Barack Obama. I didn't like Bush either. I don't. All these globalists are of the same ilk as far as I am, and that's the thing about President Trump. They don't like that he's not a globalist. They don't like that he's working to further American interests and nobody else. And ultimately, in doing that, he's kind of made himself very unpopular.
Well, that's exactly right. It's always the argument of President Trump is a racist, President Trump is a xenophobe, President Trump is a bigot. And when you really dissect everything that President Trump has done in his life, you realize that none of that is true.
No.
It's just not. I mean,
it's very
easy to try to peg somebody as all those things.
You forgot homophobe.
8 years of Barack Obama, 8 years under Barack Obama, that got this country divided.
Yeah.
Not the 3 years that came after with President Trump.
No, absolutely not.
He's trying to fix it. I don't. It's tough.
Even the time before that with Bush, I don't think Bush did a very good job at all, really, to be honest. That was cronyism politics, at its best. But a lot of people say, oh well, what has Donald Trump done in nearly 4 years? Well, how can you fix 8 years plus of misadministration in less than 4? I count Bush's administration as negative for America too, because he took us to war on flimsy evidence, and just because he's a Republican doesn't mean I'm going to support his every action. And I have to say, if President Trump was that what's the word I'm looking for? If President Trump were that careless, I couldn't support him either. But, up to now, I actually think he's been a really good president.
Of course he has. What has he done? I mean, look at the great economy that we had. He knocked ISIS on their ass. He hasn't drug us into any other conflicts in the Middle East, which tells you right there, that's why they all hate him. He actually got our GDP back up. Actually, he got it back past to where it was during the Reagan administration.
Right.
Unemployment down, jobs up. The reason that they're standing in his way is because the trajectory of the country under Barack Obama is where they wanted it to go.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is they would have had that with Hillary Clinton, but instead Donald Trump the Great comes in and says, I'm going to make America great again, and he did it, and now they're trying to torch the Trump administration just like they're doing to all these cities across America.
Absolutely. And they're trying to trash his name because I don't know if you heard, but there was a poll and basically it said only 20%, 20%, whatever is that, 27% of Americans believe that Donald Trump was religious, and evangelical Christians regarding Donald Trump as an ally in the White House, but only 27% of voters think, according to a recent survey. Now, I wonder who commissioned the survey. And according to a consultancy tracking, 17% in the survey said they somewhat agree that Trump is religious. 10% said they strongly agree. That he's 55% did not agree. But, the thing that I think about this, like all of these other things, isn't the president's faith between him and God like any other Christian, or does he lose that right too?
Well, I'll tell you this. First of all, everybody out there listening, don't read polls. Polls are garbage. And yes, his faith is his business. His family faith is his business. And, I've heard from pastors that have been, we actually had one of his spiritual leaders on Freedom on Deck who was with him 20 years before his presidency.
Right.
So he is a man of faith and conviction. Is he perfect? Is he Jesus? No. Who is? This is what they want. Okay, so only 27% believe that Donald Trump is truly faithful. Well, that is bull, because he did very well with the faith-based voters in 2016. He's going to do well again with the faith-based voters. And you know what, man? I saw a poll the other day saying that 67% of Americans agree with Black Lives Matter. Now, if that doesn't tell you that something stinks, then I don't know what does. And what are they talking about? 67% of Americans. What Americans? I wasn't polled. What Americans? The ones burning the country down?
Yeah, probably. But the thing is, with regards to any poll, the outcome of any poll is going to be relatively what it is based upon who it's commissioned by. Because if you go to a company and say, I want to commission a poll to find out this, and this, I don't believe there are many companies out there now that will give you an honest response. They will kind of tell you what you want to hear so that you can just use that data and say, well, a recent poll says, the Xander Gibb poll regarding Donald Trump's religiosity says that it's between him and God. And I think that ultimately, let's leave to God what is God's business, and because there's no requirement. He could be an atheist as far as the law is concerned, even to swear in the oath of office. A lot of these people have refused to swear on the oath of office on a Bible, and nobody questions their religiosity.
No, and God forbid if you ever do that to a Muslim that's swearing in on a Quran, which shouldn't be happening in this country, and it's not because I don't like Muslims, okay? Listen, Donald Trump does Donald Trump better than anybody else.
Right.
That's all I know. I know he's done a great job in office. I know he'll do an even better job the next 4 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, and you explained it, you don't have to explain it anymore, but these polls, like you said, are done in a way where it's going to make the Democrats look good.
Of course.
They're probably going to ask these polls in Democrat contested areas where they know Lives Matter and the Democrats. It's all rigged. All of it.
Yeah.
Like a bad movie, Xander.
Yeah, I think Dave just made an interesting point in the live feed. He said he was called by Fox News for a poll, and he said he told them that he was voting for Biden. You know, who's to say that these people are telling the truth either? You know.
Yeah, it's true, and Dave does make a good point. It's like, I think they said that they've conducted like 20 polls since last year asking about Biden and Trump, and 19 went Biden's way. Come on, man. It's so ridiculous to even believe this crap.
Yeah.
They were telling us Hillary Clinton was our next president before November ever happened in 2016, and she's not.
Yeah, the same polls that said she would, these are the same polls that said that Hillary Clinton would win in a landslide victory, and it didn't happen, folks.
No, it didn't.
You know, something that really interested me today, and I'm sure you read this too, was that there was a higher than usual number of Atlanta police officers called in sick on Wednesday after the two officers were charged in the death of Rashard Brooks, the black man who was killed while evading the police last week. The department is experiencing a higher than usual number of call-outs with the incoming shift. The police department tweeted on Wednesday night, "We have enough resources to maintain operations and remain able to respond to incidents." The police department denied that the officers had walked off the job. But Vince Champion, Southeast Regional Director for the Police Union International Brotherhood of Police Officers, said that the news was that some were actually protesting and walking off the job and not responding to some calls. This is not an organized thing. It's not a blue flu. It's not a strike. It's nothing like that. What it actually is officers protesting that they've had enough and they don't want to deal with it any longer. And you know what? Good for them. In fact, let me just stop for 1 second, chat, and applaud them. Because this is what's going to happen, folks. When you... Oh, I nearly swore live on the radio then. If you mess with the police, this is what happens. Who are you going to call? And don't say Ghostbusters.
They'll go call the ACLU. You know, they'll call the Southern Poverty Law Center, or they'll call all those frauds from Democracy Now! Maybe they'll call Soros or the Clinton Foundation. Here's the fact of the matter. The police have been thrown under the bus in a way like we've never seen before.
Yeah.
The video of that officer in Atlanta does not show reckless behavior. Yet, when I was listening, and I do it very rarely, when some of the feed comes out on our station, I'll switch over to NPR. On NPR, they said that the stun gun, or the taser rather, had been discharged prior to the dirtbag grabbing the taser. That is untrue.
Right.
When he grabbed the taser and he was running off after he had a physical confrontation with that police officer, he turned and shot the taser.
Yeah.
That's when the officer decided to shoot him twice, and they did perform CPR on this individual, and he did die. And that's, I don't want to see anybody die, but at the same time, Xander, you have to be responsible when you go out. This guy, first of all, this guy was out on probation. He was drinking and driving. He fell asleep in a Wendy's, and the police were, if you watch the video, you can tell the police weren't looking to kill this guy.
No. And
that's not what they were doing.
But they're going to, hi Maria, welcome to the live chat. They're going to leave this, they're going to turn this into another racial incident. Another black American innocent angel has been killed at the hand of the police. And I even read some of the wording. I looked at a few different articles today about it, and they're all basically saying black man murdered by cop, and that's not what happened. And that concerns me because it's going to affect the way the jury see this police officer's behavior. And I tell you, I hate to make this prediction, but if we don't back the balloon now, we are going to be up shit's creek, Yeah,
we're already losing them, and I don't blame them. And you're right, there's going to be nobody to call when you're having issues or somebody's in your home or the the great, wonderful government has taken your right to protect yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to need the blue. You know, those two towers that came down in New York, the police, when they were running in those buildings, Xander, they didn't say, hey, Captain, on building 2, all white people, right? No blacks.
No.
No Hispanics. If there's any blacks or Hispanics, we got to let it fall and leave them in there.
Yeah.
That was never said. They went in there to save the lives of all the New Yorkers that were in there, and they saved many.
Yeah.
And that is the sad part of all this. When the shit hits the fan, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. When the you-know-what hits the fan, we're going to beg them to help us, and it will happen.
It will. You're angry, aren't you, Chet? So it's all right to say shit when you're angry, because if it's all right to burn down buildings...
I'm just angry about the way things are going.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's all right to do all of those things, it's all right to say shit once in a while, you know. The thing that kind of scares me, that in 2020, America and the UK is going the same way because our countries kind of mirror one another somewhat. We are heading towards this lawless society, and it kind of scares me. Because right now, you can feel safe in your home. But if they took away the cops tomorrow, you know, I'm hoping you're armed to the hilt. We can't do that here because it's not allowed. But I would be afraid.
I'm armed, but how long do I keep all comers out? I mean, you know, luckily for my children, they're here. I'm armed. Their stepfather is retired military. He's armed to the teeth.
Good.
They wouldn't get down the driveway.
Good.
And there will be areas where these hoodlums won't go because if they see a gun or they see somebody that can defend themselves, they'll go to the next house.
Yeah.
But it is scary. It is starting to look like a crazy like Purge movie or Escape from New York. You know, like it's
Dark Angel.
A John Carpenter vehicle. Escape from New York. It's what it's looking like. But the fact of the matter is, right now, we still have great police officers, men and gals, black, white, Hispanic, the whole nine. They're all out there with the shield on, and they're still out there to protect you. I see them driving around on the streets in Long Island. God bless them. I actually, yesterday I was inside one of our 7-Elevens, and I saw a police officer, and I thanked him, and he turned to me, and he said, nobody says that to any of us anymore. And he actually said, and I was like, well, I'm thanking you. My grandfather was a police officer, so I'm thanking you. And, you know, sometimes a thank you goes a long way.
Yeah.
And that's all they want, Xander.
No,
that's
exactly.
all they want.
Exactly. I mean, that must be one of the toughest jobs ever. You know, my brother-in-law is a cop and out in Long Island, and just some of the tales that he's told me, the crap he has to put up with. You know, because if the law is the law is the law, and the law shouldn't see the color of your skin. And if you break the law, then you should be arrested. But somehow, you know, liberalized America has created this ideology where if you're black and you get caught committing a crime, then you're a victim of society, which is the biggest load of BS ever. If you're black or whatever color you are and you're caught committing a crime, you're breaking the law and you deserve to be arrested and taken to jail. And if you resist and try to attack the police officer, you get what's coming to you. It is that simple.
It's that simple. We had all these anti-Semitic attacks over the past year that were happening in Queens and Brooklyn. We had de Blasio come forward and say it was white nationalists that did it. No. I looked through, most of the cases were young black males that were beating up Hasidic Jews, and then it started to happen to some of our Chinese friends over in Queens, and again, I looked through the stories, and it was young black males from New York. And the fact of the matter is, we have an issue in the black community of anti-Semitic behavior, anti-white behavior, and a hatred that was ballooned under the presidency of Barack Hussein Obama. And they know it, and they push this narrative. And listen, I'm not saying that there are situations where the cops behave badly. There are bad doctors, lawyers, the whole nine. There are bad, sewage men. There's bad people in all walks of life. But the majority of the police, Xander, just want to get home, and they just want to do their job. And by the way, Dave asked, the Goats Live Matter movement is really picking up some steam.
Yeah.
Inside Syria and Afghanistan, it's really getting big over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to be sorting out some Goats Live Matter T-shirts, aren't we, Chet? So people can support the movement there also. I was just trying to find those statistics. I shared some statistics today in a meme. Here we go. So 80% of blacks are killed by other blacks. And it says, when is Black Lives Matter going to start addressing that? Still waiting.
They won't.
No, of course they won't. Of course they won't. And I'll tell you why they won't. Because it doesn't fit their narrative. Their narrative is that they want Whitey to be seen as racist. And you know what? I don't have a racist bone in my body. I really don't. But I call out bullshit when I see it. And whether the perpetrator of that bullshit happens to be black or white or green or gay or straight, I call it out. And to me, that's not discrimination. That's honesty. And if we can't be honest, then what is the point?
It's a political movement. The Democrats are behind it. The Democrats created Black Lives Matter. The Democrats are the ones that tell them to go out and beat up Trump supporters. The Democrats are the ones that tell them to go out and put our police and our military down. I thought there was a really good comment that our morning show guy, Lee Elsey, made today. And he had a show where Black Lives Matter actually came into the studio, and he came back at them. He did a really excellent job, and I was scared about it, but he actually came back at them and exposed them. But today he said something that really stuck with me. He said the police in America are now treated the same way that our Vietnam veterans were treated when they came home.
Yeah.
Bingo, he hit it.
Yeah.
He hit the nail on the head. That is so true.
Absolutely, and doesn't that say something for you? We have to leave it there. I am quite sad at all of this, Chat. I'm sad seeing from afar what is happening to my country. So I can't imagine what it must be like having to live over there through it. So you do really have my sympathies. Chet will be back with us tomorrow night. You can check Chet out at freedomondeck.com and also the Freedom on Deck page on Facebook. Go over there and tell him that the salubrious Xander Gibb sent you, and he will be happy to welcome you into the group, even if you haven't got a goat. Isn't that right, Chet?
Oh, and just so you guys know, the catchphrase for the Goats Lives Matter is no sodomy, no peace. Just so everybody knows, that's definitely the avenue we're going down.
We'll
talk
take
to you tomorrow.
We'll take your word for that, Chet. Thank you so much, brother. I'll speak to you soon.
God bless.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Take care. No sodomy, no peace. No comment, my friend. So my guest tonight is CV Burton from said Freedom on Deck show, and he's going to be calling us any minute from the United States of America. I love how British people refer to the United States. And I get asked lots of questions by British people. Like they say things like, oh yeah, when you have chips in America, they're like all crisps, aren't they? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. And when we want chips in America, we have to ask for French fries, don't we? So, you know, we have the same language, but culturally it is so different. It really is. The craziness of it all. So CV should be calling in any moment. Another good conservative, Chet and Xander. I will take that as a compliment, Dave, I think. Everybody seems to be interested in Goat Lives Matter. I think you need to cash in on this, Chet. We need to get some merch sorted out. This should be my guest, Mr. CV Burton, calling all the way from the United States of America. Please join me in welcoming back to the show the one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Angry himself, Mr. CV Burton. How is the world with you, sir?
London has been good to me this time around. Good.
Where did that come from? It's not London. You got to blame Julio for that. It's love. It goes, love, it has been good to me this time around. It doesn't say, London has been good to me this time around. Because, I for those of you that don't know, I have another career as a pop singer, which is on the back burner right now. But that was a surprise to hear you singing that. Welcome back to the show, CV. Shocked I am.
I walk around my house singing the song a lot. It's very catchy.
Yeah, so many people say that. Thank you. It is available on iTunes on my album, which is called The Platinum Prequel. And now we've got adverts out of the way. Tell me, CV, what has really bugged you today in the news before we jump into some stories?
Just that the Dow Jones is, pretty flat, and it went down, and it's all this false information, fake news about the virus spike when there is no spike at all. They're just trying to keep the economy down,
right?
In time for the election. It's just really sad.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And when you think about all the hard work that President Trump's administration did to make America great again, we were just trying to keep it great, and then along came the liberals once again to politicize something that wasn't even worse than the flu. But I have a feeling, I think Donald Trump would walk in dog poop and come out smelling of roses, because he has this uncanny knack of kind of pulling his way out of situations. So I think that this is going to turn around. I think he's going to win again. And I think that the next 4 years are going to actually prove to America that we can't have Democrats in the seat of power again, because America, this is a glimpse of what America would be like under Democrats. Because if they're that willing to, if they do this in order to get power, what are they going to be like with it? And talking of said Democrats, one of those tiny Democrats is Michael Bloomberg. He came and went very quickly in the 2020 presidential campaign. He entered the race last November and spent $1 billion on staff and ads, and rose briefly in the polls and then quit on March 4th after Joe Biden's unexpected surge. Now, Bloomberg has been most quiet since the election, but our Bloomy could still play a major role in the 2020 election if he chooses to spend some of his $60 billion fortune helping Biden, who is a longtime friend. Now, President Trump has outraised Biden by about $1 million so far, in part because he has Republican donors all to himself. Now, Democrat donors, by contrast, were splitting their money among several candidates until March. Now, Biden has been caught up, however, and might be able to match Trump in funding by the home stretch in the fall. Do we need to keep our eye on Bloomy, or do you think he's wasted enough of his wanga?
Oh, yeah, he's not a threat. No, Biden's not a threat either. In fact, I think the only thing Bloomberg could do with his $60 billion is create a new Biden, like a bionic Biden. the $6 billion Biden.
The $6 billion sniffer. with microchip sniffing techniques. With No, I'm not going there. That is really the $6 billion Biden. That is pretty funny. What if they did create a $6 billion Biden? They'd have to replace the brain first, wouldn't they? Because obviously, with his dementing brain, that's being eaten away. But that could be the size of a microchip. But I'm guessing, as a liberal, maybe he already had his brain removed. But I can't see the lobotomy scar. Maybe his hair hides it.
Well, the similarities would be the hair plugs would be similar. The screw off top would be similar. Biden did have brain surgery. You have to look it up. He had
really?
Brain surgery. Some people say it was for an aneurysm or something like that.
Wow.
Others say it was to go into the part of his brain that was attacking children and women, and that it didn't work. Does anybody watch David Zubelik?
Not me.
YouTube?
No.
Where you learn
Just you, CV.
You learn what they don't want you to know.
None of these things would surprise me, but he is kind of he's a weirdo. But what I did find funny recently, I don't know if you saw the clip, but he'd been on The View, and right after, Whoopi Goldberg said, that would be great if Joe Biden was the president. Then we could make Dr. Jill Biden Surgeon General. To which everybody laughed because she's not like a medical doctor. It's just like a doctorate that she has. So nobody knows who's what and why, it seems, in the liberal America.
Well, everybody's a doctor on the Democrat side that are related to politicians because they use their clout and their positions to get their children into Ivy League universities. Like the Cuomo CNN over there.
Yeah.
What do we call him? Whatever.
What I mean? Do you mean Fredo?
That guy was Fredo, exactly.
Fredo, little
guy,
Fredo.
I think that guy was a Yale alumni, believe it or not, and I don't think he can even speak in complete sentences.
No, he's so liberalized. I remember having a big fight with him on Twitter a few years ago where he made this really ridiculous statement. It was at the time when there was the big hoo-ha about trans people, pre-op transsexuals being in changing rooms with little girls. And he said, I don't mind my children being around transsexuals that still have their penises. And, the guy is just such an idiot. Which is obviously why he works for CNN. And even when I was a Democrat, I didn't like him, The guy.
They create this fake reality as if there's a lot of trannies walking around trying to get into the bathrooms with children. Like, when does that ever happen? Have you ever seen a child in a bathroom near a have you ever seen a transvestite?
No.
Well, I'm sure he goes to these weird clubs and stuff in the city. But besides that.
But transvestites and transsexuals are two different things, and there were some isolated incidents where I think it was in a private health club. Well, transvestites, I say I'm sharing with you my extensive knowledge now of the community. Transvestites get a sexual kick from dressing up as a woman, and transsexuals actually want to be a woman. They feel they were born in the wrong body. So that's kind of basically the difference. And I better not say anymore because I'll be getting hate mail.
I'm saying is I'm just saying that I might have seen one transsexual in my neighborhood over the last 5 years.
Right.
I mean, it's just so freaking rare.
Are you sure?
They just try to create these what do you call it? Not scarecrows. Straw men. So all these straw men that they're trying to put up.
Right.
And if you say anything against it, it's like, you're against transsexuals? Well, find me a transsexual, I'll see if I'm against them or not.
Yeah.
Depends on the person.
Transphobic.
If the guy's an asshole and he happens to be a transsexual, I'll be against him.
Yeah.
If he's a decent person, he's not bothering me, and he's going off and does his own thing.
Or she.
That's fine. I don't care.
Absolutely, or she. But we're not allowed that because even in the gay community, which we're supposed to call the LGBTQ ABCDFG community, I'm a hater if I don't want to have relations with a trans man, but used to be a woman. But the logic has just left the building, as far as I can see,
It's all bullshit. It's bullshit, as we say back in the hood, because it's an issue that doesn't really exist.
Right.
Nobody can. I demand a separation of government and sex. Separation of sex and government. Sex
For sure.
And state.
Yeah,
That's what I demand. I want separation of sex and state. I don't want it in my schools. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. It belongs in the bedroom. It belongs in the bathroom.
Wait.
Nobody needs to know.
Wait.
Get out of my face.
Wait.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not
Wait.
going to talk about it. And you're not going to make me talk about it, Sad.
Well, it sounds
Sorry,
like Mr. Angry has been having sex in bathrooms, but we will save that conversation for another day. I want to jump into our other topic because we are in time bound. Oh, you are a card, sir. You really are. So Brandon Straka, who has been kicked off an American Airlines flight after he refused to wear a mask. Brandon, a supporter of President Trump, who describes himself as a former liberal, tweeted that he had been removed from an American Airlines flight after refusing to follow their guidelines. On Monday, American Airlines published a news release where they reiterated that it is their policy that all passengers need to wear a face mask when on aboard their flights. They also added some passengers are exempt from face covering requirements, such as young children, those with a disability, or those with medical reasons why they can't wear a face mask, or if they're ugly. The policy also does not apply while eating or drinking. Not a federal law, he said. I was just removed from my flight for just not wearing a mask. This is insane, absolutely insane. We don't even have a choice anymore. It's not the law, as you know, it's not the law, he screamed.
He's right.
He is absolutely right. And here's the thing. They make their own rules up as they go along, these airlines. Like in the UK, we have the Disability Discrimination Act, like they have Americans with Disabilities Act. I've even had porters try to charge me for bringing my wheelchair on. They've said that there's a surcharge. So these airlines make up their own rules as they go along. But they're saying now that international flights, so if you fly from New York to London or New York to Paris or wherever, you have to wear a mask for the whole 8-hour flight. I wouldn't want to have a mask on for 8 minutes, never mind 8 hours. But should we be forced to do so?
It seems like the more this virus is seen in our rearview mirror and is disappearing behind us, the more they're tightening up the rules about this mask wearing. Because I remember in the middle of this pandemic, I was able to go into Walmart and Target, and nobody made me wear a mask. And then like last week, you keep hearing that we've flattened the curve. It's getting better. Less people are dying. Everything's getting better and better and better. And then I go into Walmart, and you can't come in without a mask, sir.
Really? Why did you just not say I have asthma? Because there's no certification out there. I thought about this.
I do have asthma.
Well, good. I would refuse to wear it. I went to a store the other day because I was low on groceries after I'd been to the ocean for a little while, and I went to buy some things, and nobody even said anything about me wearing a mask. But I would rather not go in the store. I'm not wearing a mask. Sometimes it's hard enough to breathe anyway. I can't breathe. No, that's not funny. But you get what I mean? So why would I want to wear a mask? Do you think that this is going to result in people refusing to use particular services or even boycotting services?
I am already. I've had encounters with these store people over the last week or so. I went into a liquor store near my house to pick up some wine, and the guy's like pointing at his face, like, "Where's your mask?" I'm like, "I don't believe in that." And he says, "Well, you have to leave then." I said, "You really think I'm going to infect you with the disease?" Because I don't know. I'm like, "All right, well, goodbye then." I'm not going to go back in there.
I would have coughed on him.
I went to a different liquor store, and there was this guy comes over to me wearing a mask, like he's in a panic. It's like, you have to wear a mask to be in here. You can pull your shirt over your mouth if you want. And he's standing 3 inches from me.
Wow.
I said, "Back off! You're way too close."
Yeah.
He jumps backwards because I got him. I hoisted him up on his own petard, and then he's like, "You have to wear a mask." And I said, he goes, "No offense." I said, "I am offended." And I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And I said, "Don't expect me back." And I left.
So where did you get your
third liquor store, and they were totally cool with it.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? If
So
they
that's
want your
gonna be my
money,
new liquor store.
if they want your money that badly, let's face it, retail has been hit so badly. If they want your money, like a lot of the store that I went into the other day had screens up, and there was just like a thing that you could put your card through or your cash through or whatever. Swoop just made an interesting point. He said about California Governor Newsom just ordered masks to be required at all times in public. I think there's going to be some backlash, with regards to that too, because, where have our rights gone?
It's just another vehicle for left-wing kooks to latch onto and show that they care more than you do. And remember when Muslims, I forget which Middle Eastern country it was, they were kidnapping women during the Obama administration, and you see Michelle Obama on Twitter saying, wearing a shirt or wearing a sign saying, "Let our girls go. Let our girls go."
Yeah.
They couldn't give a rat's ass about those girls.
Yeah.
It's just another thing that they can latch onto and say, "Look, I care. You don't. I care. You don't."
Michelle Obama had no worries about getting kidnapped, and did she? Let's face it. We have to leave it there. I actually was saying to Chet last night, I don't know if you heard, I said it's so refreshing to have a beautiful first lady that doesn't have a penis. I mean, thank you, God. Thank you.
You're right.
We gotta.
Any lady without a penis is refreshing.
Yeah, I would agree. Because it doesn't bode well for me either, to be honest. We're going to leave it there before the depravity gets any further. I tell people where they can find you, CV, and where they can talk to you about the difference between transvestites and transsexuals, and also having sex in bathrooms.
Check out freedomondeck.com. If you haven't been there, then you're square, because you can see our old shows there, and go on the news page, which I update frequently. You can see these videos of people fighting back against Antifa. Like there's a group of mob Antifa attacked this man, shot at. I think that was great. That was refreshing. You want to talk about refreshing? Okay.
A nice beer sounds nice right now. That I could do with one. That sounds like refreshing. It really does. But listen, for now, thank you so much, CV. Make sure you check out CV and Freedom on Deck, because if you're not listening to Freedom on Deck and the Xander Gibb Show, then you ain't conservative. For now, CV, thank you so much. Have a great weekend, sir.
Thank you. Sorry for yelling again.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Angry. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was CV Burton from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you check him out. Thank you to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thank you to the irrepressible Chet Martin, also from Freedom on Deck. It's been a Freedom on Deck takeover today. But it is always a pleasure to speak to these guys. Go and check them out. Go and check out the show. Sundays, 3 till 5 Eastern. That's all we've got time for. I don't know what that was. Don't know what the video is they're talking about. Now, I had your fill of the Gibbs, so you can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and 1 a.m. in the United Kingdom, and 12 midday down there in Australia. On our Friday show, Chip Martin and Dr. Lamiro join us. Thanks for joining us. Please make sure you stay safe out there. I have been Xander Gibb, and I really do love you all. Share the show, and I'll love you more. London has been good to me this time around. London has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rifts. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits. Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show.